Here we go. So today we will be talking about like an interesting topic for like lots of people out there, like for SDRs, founders, marketers, recruiters, how to quick start your outbound engine in one day. So how to like launch your outbound sequence, your cold outreach campaign in one day. So it's a part of Be Ready with Vlad series. Almost every 2 weeks, I share everything I know about cold outreach, cold emails, prospecting, list building, and personalization at scale, and I'm sharing with everyone. So before we jump to the topic, feel free to visit reply.io/B2B Growth Summit in 7 days. Next week, we will have a huge online event where we will be like teaming up with lots of cool growth pros, salespeople, SDRs, marketing leaders, and we will be sharing. We will have a 1 day event, virtual event online. So for free, you can, and we will be sharing like, and our speakers will be sharing like everything they know about how to grow your B2B organization, starting from sales, inbound sales, outbound, PLG, and much more. So yeah, feel free to register for the event, and we'll be super happy to see you next Thursday. So maybe that's gonna be +1 to your counter this month. Okay, so my name is Vlad, and I'm growth leader here at Reply with SDR's background. Spent almost like 7 years, maybe even more now, on like learning more about cold outreach, best practice. So that's why I'm super happy to share everything I know about cold outreach. So here's what we will cover today. Number one, we will talk about how to write effective cold emails, like really quickly, how to create high performing outreach sequences. And this is gonna be something between 5 to 10, maybe 15% reply rate. How to find prospects along with their contact data and add to your sequences. And so we will talk about like a little bit about workflow, tools, tech stacks, and so on, and then how to set up your reply account for cold outreach. And as always, I will be sharing insanely useful bonus content, lots of like content for like rabbit hole content. That's going to be something like that. So I will be sharing lots of useful links. So stay till the end, and I will share the link right away. So yeah, we will record everything. We will share templates, slides, and resources with you after the event. Also, feel free to use the chat and the Q&A section, and I will be more than happy to answer your questions during the presentation. All right, so first of all, here's a quick poll. Let me know how advanced are you in cold outreach. So just 4 options. So just a second. Yeah, so 4 options. You're beginner, pro, advanced pro, or Jedi. So let me know. Advanced pro, okay, so we will share, just give a sec, and then we will share the results. I see we have beginners, pros. Jedi, in my point of view, it's gonna be something like you can constantly generate 10+ reply rates within your sequences, something like that. So if it's true, so feel free to use this option. All right, so sounds like we have lots of beginners, pros, and advanced pros. Okay, cool. The reason why I asked it because today I will be more focused on like beginner stuff for beginners. So, but for pros and advanced pros, I still believe I have something to share as well. Okay, so yeah, so that's cool. Why it matters? Why it matters? So first of all, typically they think that cold email templates, cold outreach, outbound, it's all about cold email copy or about LinkedIn messages template or stuff like that. But in reality, there are lots of things we need to think about to successfully set up our processes like relevancy, attachments, CTAs, links, ICP, risk emails, data cleaning, data enrichment, why we reach out to them, email lengths, lots of things. So I will try to explain majority of them like very briefly, so we can so basically after this webinar, you can grab some resources, you can grab some ideas and launch your cold outreach sequence tomorrow, let's say. So when it comes to cold outreach, there are 5 golden cold outreach rules I typically follow. So they basically have a foundation of my best practices, and I'm trying to follow these best practices, and typically it helps me generate like decent and great results, depending on the audience. But number one, it's be laser focused on your ideal customer profile and your ideal buyer persona. Even the best email template won't work if you target non-ICP prospects. Number two, be relevant. Even the best email template won't work if your offer isn't something they are thinking about right now. This one is the hardest probably. And yeah, so that's how we can think about relevancy, scale, and so on. Then people typically do not buy products, but they buy solutions to their problems, right? Never sell something via cold email right away. Meaning, don't try to use like rough CTAs, sending them Calendly link right away. Just be curious, be tactful, and that's how cold outreach works better. If you're polite and tactful. And now, starting from probably 23, it's super important to properly set up your cold outreach infrastructure, meaning things like domains, inboxes, sending limits, deliverability. So from now on, like SDRs and sales people should be like a little bit more tech savvy now, right? Because all of the things. So these are my 5 cold outreach golden rules, and I'm trying to implement them in every campaign and sequence I run. So chapter number one is preparation. Technically, we won't be able to launch our sequences right away. We need to have like 2 to 4 weeks in preparations, meaning we need to prepare so first of all, we need to define our cold outreach volumes. Typically, on average, it requires 200 to 600 leads to book one demo. It's like an average for industry. So knowing you need to book, let's say, 10 demos, you more likely need 2,000, 6,000 prospects in your sequence, like typically on average. So that's how you can understand how many inboxes, domains you need like for your cold outreach sequence. So define your cold outreach volumes, then buy additional domains for your cold outreach. Then we need to properly set up those domains, things like SPF, DKIM, DMARC, etc. Then we need to set up domain forwarding, and I'll explain this a little bit later. Then we need to buy email addresses for each domain, meaning we need to set up our G Suite account or Microsoft Office accounts, or if you prefer, I don't know, maybe Zoho email and so on. And then we need to slowly warm up those email addresses, sending some emails to our colleagues, maybe friends, maybe using some tools for these automatic warm up things. But we need to slowly warm up those email addresses, thus domains as well. And then we need to wait 2 to 4 weeks to make sure that domain age and email address age is like acceptable for cold outreach. So that's how we can keep using these domain and inboxes for a longer period of time. Yes, we can get started in day 2, day 3, maybe even the same day, but that's how you will burn out your domain and inbox faster. So technically we need to wait a few weeks before we launch our outbound sequences. But if you use your primary domain, that's okay, meaning you have lots of inbound leads, you have lots of marketing emails sent through these domains, and you're okay. So meaning if your company, if your organization have lots of inbound traffic, inbound responses, and all domain, you can use it basically, but be like super like prepared that you need to be like targeted with your cold outreach. That's what I mean. Okay, so let me check. You have a question. Q&A. What was the stat? One demo needs 20 emails or 2,000 emails. Well, typically it means you need 200 contacts, like from 200 to 600 contacts to book one demo. Typically, that's going to be like 3 to 6 follow-ups for this contact, meaning you need to send approximately 1,000 emails to book one demo, like including 5 follow-ups, what I mean here, right? But yeah, it's contacts to book one demo. That's what typically they say on LinkedIn. Lots of experts, cold outreach experts, outbound experts, when they launch sequences for their customers or for their clients, what they see is that they need like this amount of contacts, and pretty much the same here for me. Like I can see that I need like 300 contacts to book one demo. It's just a stat for you. All right, so when it comes to domains, we need to prepare this in advance. When it comes for my setup, let's say we at Reply have domain reply.io, it's our brand. So for cold outreach, I have a bunch of domains here, like lots of them. I use reply and some prefixes and suffixes, like let's say replyhq.io, try reply.io. So, and we use these domains for our cold outreach. So that's how we can scale it and keep our main domain protected. Important pro tip here, stick to more expensive top-level domains like .io, .ai, .com, .co. Don't use cheaper ones. So there's a correlation in terms of deliverability, and cheaper top-level domains like org, I don't know, like club, whatever. So yeah, stick to these more expensive top-level domains. Chapter number 2. So technically, we need to wait 3 to 4 weeks and prepare everything, like technical setup. We have a bunch of resources on this. If you need them, let me know, and I will send how to set up your domains, your inboxes for additional cold outreach. Then we can get started with our outbound itself. So chapter number 2 is define your ICP. As I said, one of golden rules of cold outreach is be laser focused in your ICP. Like you need to understand who your customers are, basically. And when it comes to ideal customer profile, for me, there are 2 parts. Ideal company profile, meaning their technographics, like industry vertical, size, location, keywords, and so on. And ideal buyer profile. So job titles within companies, typically who purchase our software, for example. And then you need to stick to a Pareto principle, meaning that 20% of efforts will generate 80% of outcomes, basically 20-80 rule. So why? Because you know that you will have customers from different industries, like from different verticals, and you will think that, hey, it's a good idea to, I don't know, maybe reach out to real estates because we have maybe 5 customers within this industry. But in reality, it's a rare use case for your business, for example, and instead of sending 200 email contacts, adding 200 contacts to sequence, you will have to add maybe 1,000 to get this meeting, for example. So that's why you need to figure out who is your ideal customer profile, ideal company profile, and ideal buyer profile, buyer persona. And then you can basically segment your contacts and your companies based on this Pareto principle, and tiers, basically tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. And that's how in cold outreach we need to focus on tier 1 accounts or tier 1 companies. That's how you will increase a chance to get positive response, because it's going to be a more typical use case for them, right? And when it comes to ideal buyer profile, we need to understand who is a decision maker, who is a relator, and who is an influencer, basically an end user of your software or something like that. When you know those things, for example, how I did this at Reply. So I asked our market team, okay, just give me the list of all customers we have in our database, and I will enrich everything myself. And then I will build like a chart, and then I will understand in terms of MRR, like country, size, industry, keywords, like those most engaged customers, basically. And then what I did, I analyzed MRR and let's say country. And I know that 80% of our customers are from the US. So when I build my list, I typically focus on USA, for example. And then the same with industry. I know that 80% of our customers are from computer software, tech, industries. So that's how I can increase chances to get replies, because basically it's a likelihood audience, right? So we need to know our ICP, both customer profile and buyer personas, and be laser focused on one audience at a time. Then we need to start creating our cold emails, like knowing ICP, knowing ideal buyer profile. We can start creating our cold emails specifically for this audience. For example, I will create a sequence for, I don't know, VP of sales development from tech companies. And then I know how to build my lists, how to position my product, how to write my cold emails, and that's how I will personalize my sequences based on this data. So there is no need to fake some like personalization at all. And that's how we typically call these persona-based, industry-based sequences. So you can combine them together and like, instead of sending some generic templates, we can personalize at scale for this persona. All right, so I have a few questions. Give me a second. Yeah, that's a good point. You can use basically company name and add some suffixes, prefixes. Typically, that's how they do it. Mhm. Okay, let's move on. And so how to create cold emails and how to write effective cold emails? That's a good question, right? So here are 5 ways how typically I create cold emails, and I want to share them with you. 5 ways to write cold emails. Number one, I will share a list of proven email templates. Then we have a template library. Then we had a webinar on cold emails. Probably this is going to be the very last webinar on cold emails you will ever need. We also built a custom email GPT, cold email custom GPT using Chat GPT, so we know how we feed the best cold email templates with the highest possible open and reply rates, and then you can create similar templates yourself, and then you can use JSON AI and magic sequences at reply. So number one, it's 11 proven email templates. I've been using them like for a very long period of time. We will share them. Oh, it's a wrong link. Okay, I will change it. So basically, I created a list of 11 proven email templates that you can use as a step number one for your cold email sequences, and I will share this list. Typically, these email templates generate from 2 to 5% reply rate. Number two, we have a huge library of battle-tested email templates. So just go to reply.io/email templates and outbound sales and choose the one you want, basically. Number three is a webinar on cold emails. We had this 2 weeks ago, and there are a bunch of useful resources on how to write cold emails, including like things like intro lines, value proposition, call to action, signature, and so on, even PS lines. Number four is reply custom GPT. So we can use this one right now, and I will use it for a demo. And number four, you can use replies JSON AI. It also writes quite good email templates. Of course, you will need to modify them and kind of change some things, tweak some things, but typically it's quite okay. And here's an AI prompt for cold emails I typically use. I will use it with this cold email and outreach generator by reply, and you can change text in brackets like I sell, I don't know, reply.io, I sell a software for a cold outreach, I sell PPC services and so on. Then explain we help teams in B2B space, what you offer, what problem you solve, and how you solve this problem. For example, by providing software to personalize call outreach at scale, because there are a bunch of ways to solve the same problem. For example, revenue can be increased by investing into SEO, ads, cold outreach, outbound, and so on. So, right, we need to specify how we gonna fix an issue, and then specify why you're reaching out to them. It's basically a reason for outreach, and then just a short prompt for everything. Yeah, it should write a quite decent email template. And then we can say, okay, give me 3 more variants, and then we will have A/B testing as well. So it took me probably, I guess, 5 minutes, right, to create this email template. Of course, we can modify it, but I guess it will be okay for start. Then we can go to reply right away and then just create a sequence. Of course, you can create from Magic if you prefer. Then we can use the same prompt. Okay, let me create a new sequence from scratch. I will skip adding contacts. Then I will add email. Then I will use this email template. If maybe I need to slightly modify some things. And then I will use my hack for writing the best subject line. It's something like company, these symbols, reply.io. This one always helps me get 50%, 50+% open rate. Then, okay, let's save it. Nowadays, when we send lots of cold emails, typically we will need a few more follow-ups. Why? Because that's how you can randomize your cold emails. So that's how you will avoid spam filters for a longer period of time. So adding more email templates, variations of the same email template will help you with deliverability at scale. And then I will add just a few more options here. Add variant. Maybe I will try like company plus reply.io. As company grows, our email per software could be a game changer. Typically, I don't like those things like game changer, but let's try. For pre-chat, you can see enhancing. Things like enhancing isn't okay as well, but let's give it a try. I see companies actively hiring SDRs, which mean ramping up cold outreach efforts. Our tool helps quite decent cold email, I would say. Let's try another variation of the same subject line. So again, we add this like random options to like protect my deliverability for a longer period of time. Then, of course, we can use maybe more variables, including industry, company size. Let's say our tool helps B2B software sales teams. As I know that I'm reaching out to software companies, I can say in the SaaS space, for example. So that's how I can be even more targeted to this specific audience, right? Okay, so let's save it. Then we will add a few more follow-ups. We can ask ChatGPT to write two follow-ups based on best practices, Why I'm adding this, because again, as I said, we trained this custom ChatGPT on some exclusive data, just only on the best cold email templates out there. Because typically a generic ChatGPT is trained on everything in the internet, right? It can be something from blogs, maybe not something awesome. So we used just best follow-ups and best cold emails. So that's how I know it will work. Okay, I wanted to regarding my previous email. Okay, we held similar companies. Sounds good. Sounds good as a follow-up. Quite okay. Regarding how we can support companies expanding sales team. Okay, it understands the context of a previous message. Awesome. Remarkable. Not an awesome option here. Could you prove to discuss further? Sounds good. Again, so you can give it a try and play around with some follow-ups, prompts, and it will generate quite successful cold email follow-ups. Then let's set up the account. Typically, we will require more cold emails in more inboxes. I will add a few more. Let's say then general settings, max daily contacts, maybe let it be 100, number of emails per day, let be 300, delay between each email. Okay, then match email providers. If you use both Gmail and Office, that's how you can boost a little bit your deliverability and open rates again. Let's disable open if you prefer. And yeah, we will leave link tracking disabled as well. Then I will use this setting max same domain contacts per day. So when you reach out to, let's say, 5+ contacts from the same domain a day, lots of like spam filters will understand that you're reaching out to many contacts from the same domain, and that's how they will understand it's spam. So let's stick to one, maybe two, and save settings. Call handlings, we can use, and okay, then we can save and quit. So my sequence is created. It should be somewhere here. Where is it? Sequence. Okay, I lost it. Not a good. Oh, it's this one, I guess. Yeah, here we go. So sequence is created, and then let's proceed with the presentation. I also created a PDF, an ebook on how to write cold email templates, and you will find lots of examples, like battle-tested examples of value proposition, call to action. So that's how you can play around with it. So hope you will enjoy it. And then when we create sequence, here are some best practices, just basic things like stick to 3-5 steps, use 2 to 3 threads, meaning you can start first thread number 1, then add 2 more follow-ups to the same thread, and then use 2 more threads for like separate emails. Then stick to 20-30 business days for your whole sequence. So step number 1 gonna be day 1, step number 2 day 4 or 7, step number 3 will be day 8, 10, number 4 day 15 or 20, and then step number 5 gonna be day 20 or 30. So typically when it comes to quite to high volume cold outreach, there's no need to send lots of cold emails, lots of follow-ups within a short period of time. So that's how you can protect yourself. And why? Because typically steps number 1, number 2, and 3 will generate majority of replies. With every additional email in your sequence, yes, you will generate replies, but they will be negative ones. And that's how you can increase a chance that they will mark you as spam, basically, because why you're sending me so many emails, right? So stick to 3, maybe 5 steps max. As I said, 2-3 threads, 20-30 days. Majority of replies will be on steps number 1, 2, and 3. Use some variables like industry, title, location, to like to customize them and create email variants to boost your deliverability. Because in reality, how my sequences look like nowadays, it's just crazy. It's something like this: lots of variants for every single step. For step number 1, it's like 10. Step number 2 is like 5 variants. Step number 3, 5 more. So that's how you can randomize things and protect your inboxes for a longer period of time. Let me check the chat. All right, sounds no questions so far. Okay, let's move on. And bonus content here, I created 10 sequences every team should be running. So I will share the link as well. So there are lots of templates, including follow-ups, including days. So you can just copy and paste them and just modify them. And of course, you can use ChatGPT to create 3 more variants for every single step if needed, if you prefer, right? So, all right, there are a bunch of templates, sequences, so feel free to use them. Basically, I'm sharing the best ones, including stats, so you can check stats as well for those sequences. All right, and now it's time to add prospects. So there are basically 2 options how you can do this. You can use data providers, B2B data, lead databases like ZoomInfo, for example, and you can use real-time email finders. So when you use data providers, what I have seen like lots of times, many times, that typically when they use these B2B data providers, they have huge bounce rates, typically 5, 10, 15% bounce rate. And when I see these sequences, honestly, I want to cry, because 15% bounce rate is super huge, and that's how you will destroy your domain reputation. So avoid this huge bounce rate at all costs. So why it happens? Because studies say that 30% of company data becomes outdated every year for a variety of reasons. So when you use B2B databases, typically they update them every quarter. I don't believe that it's like a real-time update every day, but so they update these databases every now and then, probably every month or every quarter. But some But at some point, people change their jobs, they change their position. So that's how you have these huge bounce rates because their database isn't a real-time one. So if you use B2B databases instead of real-time email searches on LinkedIn or Sales Navigator, my advice here is make sure to use email validation before adding prospects to your campaigns or sequences. Just add this additional step for your sequences, for your like workflow and lead generation processes. Just validate database and remove invalid and risky emails from your sequences. My tech stack basically includes two tools, and I prefer real-time databases, including Sales Navigator plus email verificator, replies email verificator. So I can use, let's say, um, Sales Navigator and reply to find emails. So that's why I said why you need to know your ICP, because we then can use these basic filters again to find prospects at scale. For example, seniority level, then maybe some location or like their current company. So you name it, right? And then I use just replies email finder to find prospects right away. So that's how I can be sure that every data point in my list is like accurate and up to date. When we use this approach, typically bounce rate is like 1%. That's how um, you can again. It's all about deliverability. It's all about relevance, spam filters nowadays. So and relevance at scale, right? So again, you can use email finder. Typically, like data coverage is like 40%. You will be able to find 40% of emails in your lists, or you can find them simultaneously. Can reveal details, and then we can just click move prospect to a list and then to our sequence, for example, and that's it. So that's my routine here, and I explained why I prefer this approach. Again, you can use databases, just download a list of 1,000 prospects, but again, make sure to add email validation stage to your lead generation process. Let me know in the chat what is your cold outreach tech stack, what tools you use. Maybe we can share and exchange ideas with everyone. Yeah, let me know in the chat what is your current cold outreach tech stack. What tools you use for cold outreach? Sales now seamless. Yep, pretty much the same process and validates emails with the bounce. Sounds good, John. Dripify LinkedIn sales now. Okay. So yeah, we have both B2B databases and real-time email search. Awesome. Brad Apple replies zero bounce. Sounds powerful. Yeah, and again, there shouldn't be something shiny, huge, lots of tools like these huge tech stacks. Typically, you just need three of them, like B2B database, email finder, and email verificator, and cold outreach software. Just don't complicate if you want to start in one day. The less tools you have, the better. And yeah, and final notes here, set up your sequence. As I said, deliverability is super important nowadays. Like, to be honest, I created a sequence last year basically, and I forgot to check my own process, and I added like I guess 2 or 3 spam words, like I guess it was pricing, or something. And then what happened, my average open rate was 30%. I was like, wow, what happened? And then I noticed that I forgot to check all my like deliverability processes. So the final note here is you need to set up your sequences and check everything when it comes to deliverability. So that's why I created a huge list of how to check and make sure that you will get the highest possible open rates and reply rates. So then prepare, including things like prepare domains, technical setup, check your contact lists, subject lines, email templates, best practices, then email personalization, then email deliverability, and like planning and execution. So the more things you will tick, the higher chance you will get awesome results, basically. And then you will get your sequence. You know how to get your data, and that's it. Basically, what I did yesterday, I tried to go through all those things on my own. And yesterday, just as I said, yesterday we created a sequence, launched it, added 1,500 contacts. So I'm expecting I will book 1 or 2 meetings here, and here are my results so far. I launched it yesterday as the first email sent, first open rates, reply rates. So yeah, and it basically took me 6 hours from start to clicking like activate my sequence. So I guess this will work out in your end as well. Okay, so let me send you the presentation so you can check it out. Okay, as always, let's stay in touch. Here's my QR code to connect on LinkedIn. More than happy to connect with you. If you have more questions, just let me know. We still have 5 minutes or so. More than happy to answer your questions. Otherwise, very good. So we have a question. Is it recommended to use read receipts? Some say it decreases deliverability. I saw you are tracking read metric. So you meaning like open rates or something? Let's clarify it. Yes, open rate. Yeah, I agree. I'm just confident that my cold outreach is like targeted, and it should get me something between 70 to 80% open rate. So yeah, I use it. I use this data. Why I use this? Because when I go to my list and then I go to opened, why I use this basically because I want to figure out some prospects who opened my emails more than once and viewed them, let's say 5 times, and then I will move them to another like more personalized sequence. So that's how I check out for high intent prospects. But again, I agree. They say that like tracking your opens kind of decreases like deliverability, of course. So yeah, so they say it's preferred not to track open rates typically. All right. Thank you, Gatabones. Have a good whole country so thank you. All right. So I guess we have no additional questions. As I said, more than happy to connect with you on LinkedIn, and thank you. See you next time and have a great day. Take care. Bye.